Well, before we get started,
Daholics. We got Bigfoot in the woods. We got aliens in the sky. We got ghosts in the attics. Here comes Cryptoholics.
here he is, man. The
Does he
man with
know
the voice.
Does he know we're doing this to him? He knows this, right?
Yeah, he does know we're doing this. Thanks, Tim. Thank you.
That's comedy gold.
Yeah, that is comedy.
Comedy gold with him.
So before we get started,
Started.
the show is unofficially brought to you by one of the weirdest beers I've ever bought. It's made in Texas by Texans.
Okay.
I do love this other product that they make because everybody in Texas puts this on stuff.
What is it? Oh, okay.
Best made sour pickle beer.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Look, see the face?
Yep.
It loves it.
Same little face that's on all the jars of pickles.
Yeah, man. It loves it.
We got best.
Like it smells like a jar of pickles, and
Does it taste like pickles?
yeah.
Oh wow.
Did you like that? That was serious.
That was like real.
That was a real deal.
That's not even acting right now. That's like real legit stuff right there. You didn't have to pull the acting skills out for that.
Makes me want to scratch my tongue. That's kind of strange.
Well, I'm boring tonight, so.
Dang, dude, you went all the way down to water.
Down to water, man. I'm down 4 pounds. I'm
all right, dude.
Yeah. So.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know. I'm trying to get to my fighting weight. I don't know what I'm working for here. So. Whatever. So,
oh.
You know what I'm saying. So what
all
we
right,
got,
folks? What do we got? We have Roxanne Jasparro. And we're going to talk to her because I sent Roxanne something in the mail. Something strange.
How long ago? We'll bring her on.
Yeah, let's bring her on. Let's bring on Roxanne. Okay. Hello, Roxanne.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how are you?
Hello.
Cheers to Roxanne.
Cheers. I'm also drinking water, but I do have a bottle of wine next to me. So.
But you know what? Your glass, what do you have, like some kind of spell in there? Because it's kind of bluish.
It does.
Yes, it's a blue wine glass, and then I put like a flower star thing on it. I painted it.
Oh, nice.
Fancy. Now here I am just drinking it out of a bottle.
Not even a cool glass. You gotta have marketing.
No, I didn't have time for that. So, I'm sure he's referencing my bottle of water this week. So that's all right. I got the little dude here at the house. I had to make dinner. You know how that is. So.
Well, yeah. I know you could bring little dude on, but he might take over the show.
He would, yeah.
Oh, that little dude would take over the show.
Yeah, he would kick me out.
Yeah.
So he's made an occasional pop-in appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Like the little pop-ins that, when I do Facebook Live, sometimes my kids are like, hey, and they're waving behind me and doing these weird things.
Yeah, they'll just come over here and just stand by me.
Yeah.
Like, give this awkward look. Like, now my daughter co-hosted with us once.
Oh, yeah, she did good too, man. Ellie did great.
That's awesome. Girls always do good with their dads. I've noticed on podcasts and stuff. It's like a nice balance.
Yeah. Need to get her.
My kids just run behind me and like in their underwear and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing?
That's what mine do. Yeah, my son does.
No one wants to see that, dude.
That was pretty funny. That was funny. I don't know if he's calling me responsible or somebody, but yeah.
I think it's you, man.
That may be.
I think you're the responsible one.
Dad duty, right? So.
Let's see. When was that? I think it was in
a couple months.
February when I sent that to Roxanne because I was just getting out of COVID. Like I was just getting my bearings back.
Yes, it was like February. The box said like February 23rd.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
So when I took this to get mailed, it was very interesting because I didn't take it to the post office. I took it to one of those, fly by night kind of places. This place is in Crowley, which I never go to. And I was just in that area, so I was like, I'm gonna drop it off over here. And I told the guy what was in there. And he's like, what?
Yeah, because they ask you if there's like any like things of explosion, and any
Yeah,
explosive
yeah.
stuff. Like,
And I
yeah.
was like, I'm sending this to a witch up north. He was like, what the hell? That's cool. Can I see what? No, you can't see what's in there.
Like
That's cool.
smuggling drugs across the country or something.
Yeah.
Going to another location out of town, trying to be all secretive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's dirt, and I do collect dirt. So, like, when my clients go all around the world and travel, which I don't do yet, I do go some places, but they go places I would never be able to go. I've got 3 kids, trying to push them through life.
Mhm.
And I'm always like, bring me back some of that dirt, and they always smuggle it back. So I've got jars of dirt from like everywhere.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I added to that then.
We probably should recap why you sent her dirt, right? For people that may have didn't catch the first show with Roxanne.
Yeah. So this dirt was taken April of 2020. It's evidence as we see fit. So one of which they were empty moonshine jars that I sterilized.
I got one.
Oh, there's number one.
Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I have number 2.
Number 2.
So number 1. I'm trying to figure this out. Number 2.
Yeah.
1 and
so
2.
Our immature listeners, just stop it right now. Just stop it.
Yeah, you might have went with like number.
I'm not seeing the comments, so I don't see the comments.
Oh, we haven't had anybody comment.
Okay.
Somebody will hello.
There's hello everyone.
Yeah.
They'll come in.
Yeah.
Maybe like.
Oh,
2
now
months.
I see it.
Okay. But so, Roxanne, if you would just kind of tell everyone what it is you do, just kind of give us a little
recap.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a witch here in New England, and I live in Situate, Rhode Island, so the smallest state in the United States. And I help people, whether it's, helping them with reading, talking to a loved one, because I'm also a medium. And I have a bunch of other psychic abilities that I utilize to help people. So really, at the end of the day, I'm in the business of helping people through my psychic abilities and utilizing nature, herbs, things like that, to kind of make sure that everyone lives their best life.
Yeah.
And so people always say, "Oh my God, you're a witch. You cast spells," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course I do." But we all do, when we use our prana, our breath. When that person cuts you off on the road, and you're like, "I hope you do blink, blink, blink," right? You cast that spell. Once we all do those things, but as witches, we do it a little differently. We do it for the intent for the highest and best, and to help others.
Did you see the message there about the
I did.
Okay. I don't. You have a.
Hey, you guys are being loud.
He's got a party going on at his house.
I was gonna say, do like I do with the kids and just slam the door on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or slam it like 3 times, and then they know, like, if you come out after the 3 times slam,
yeah,
you're in trouble.
So, Roxanne, just and this is totally gonna be off track here, but I spoke to you about some of my situations, with the shadow man and things like that I've experienced.
Yeah.
How familiar are you with witching sticks?
With what?
Witching sticks.
Witching sticks? Mm-hmm. Are you talking about the ones with water?
Well,
are you talking?
That's what I've always used them for. See, I built fence most of my life, so I always used dowsing rods or witching sticks, whatever you want to call them, and I would find, like buried sprinkler lines, utility lines, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I had an old man at a military base show me how to use it, and 9 times out of 10, it seems to work for me. But I had someone tell me about the spiritual side of it, and I've been experimenting with it.
Okay.
And I've had some really, really strange experiences with it.
Hey, that even freaked me out. I was like, whoa.
And so much so that I'm getting yes and no answers. I'm getting these sticks to move through my house and point to different things, asking things to move to different parts of the house, and they move with it.
Yeah.
It's very, very weird. And I even did a really good, cool experiment with because I told you my daughter has that little bit of that ability. I had her in another room, and my nephew was in the living room videoing it, and I had ask some questions and things like that for things to move different parts of the room, whatever it is, whether it's a spirit, a ghost, a demon, I don't know what it is. But I asked this thing to move to a very particular spot in the house, and she came in and grabbed the rods and was asking, where it is in the room, and these rods just zoom right to it. Um, and then it's been really weird. Like I have asked some very, very personal questions that
Yeah.
I only know the answer to, and I'm getting these yes and no responses. And I just didn't know if you had ever messed with anything like that before.
So, as a witch, we use many different things. I'm actually wearing something now. It's like a pendulum necklace. And you can do the same thing with this as you can do with what they call dowsing rods now. They were called witches sticks before. You would actually use sticks. Now there's actually like a metal. The ones you're using are metal, correct?
Well, they're just, I bought my daughter the copper rods.
The copper.
Yeah.
Yep.
But mine they're just iron. They're actually just I think they're 3/16 dowel rods that I bought at Home Depot, and I bent them into shape. And they're about 3 foot long. And I mean, I can ask anything and
Yeah.
get a yes or no. It's very odd. And I did it for Shane and his wife, a few other people, and it's just really freaky.
Very strange.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like, how do I put this?
Go ahead.
So with our energy, we're able to manipulate anything. Okay. So with those dowsing rods or anything you use, and this is what I teach, you can manipulate them to do what you think. So if everyone in the room, like if you say out loud, or even in your head, like I want like these dowsing rods to go, in this particular room or point to that particular room. If you are psychic or you're connected on that wavelength, they will do it. They are like subservient to you. Okay.
I kind of was thinking along the same lines of that. I was thinking it was a mind power type deal,
and that's why like with these like ghost hunters and these ghost hunter shows, and they use all this like different equipment, and I think that's great because it's like do you guys hear that voice?
Yeah, I just heard that.
Yeah.
That's not from here. Yeah, that was weird. It was like,
I think it's coming from my room. I'm in my reading room where I talk to the dead. So you may have a few visitors that want to talk about.
I'm going to say that was kind of trippy just a minute ago.
Okay. I was like, okay, here we go.
Well, I hear things, so I just going to make sure, like, is anybody else hearing that?
I heard that.
So
and
that
would be hear it at all. So.
Right. So they're working in like the audio space of like where we are. So someone's trying to make themselves known. So we'll see. I might have to,
You have to go back and listen to this. You'll hear them like, or something like that.
Yeah. They're making like a reference because I'm talking about how, with paranormal people trying to contact the dead and through different things, you got to be, I know we're trying to be scientific, right? I put quotations around that, but we are the biggest computer. So if you can, I tell people all the time, like when you use any kind of dowsing anything, your mind has to be like disconnected. Like you literally have to be trained to be able to put your mind in a different space and be able to utilize the dowsing rods or let someone else hold the dowsing rods. And then like you ask the question, but then you have to separate yourself, because if you keep focusing on that question and you keep putting out in the universe like what that answer is, those dowsing rods are going to pick it up.
Okay.
You're controlling them, and that stuff that I've done like on video where I've been able to like move energy in mirrors and you could see it moving. Some people call that witchcraft, some people call it magic. I call it science.
So I had a few people that, especially like skeptical people, and some people that are really, big believers in that kind of paranormal things like that. And I've had certain people hold these rods, and get no response, whether it's their question or my question. So it's just, and then it's like with my daughter, the way maybe it's just our similar energies or something like that, but like the answers mimic. You know what I mean? So like really
a pet. Weird. Think of like a pet, right? you get a family pet, but then that family pet chooses who it really is, like the familiar, right?
Mhm.
So you've programmed these dowsing rods so nobody else can use them. You have to ask the dowsing rods if they're able. You have to ask. So when you hand those dowsing rods to someone else, you actually may intuitively be putting out like, oh yeah, I want you to try it. I want you to try it. But your energy is connected to them. So like, if I want you to try an experiment, let someone else hold those dowsing rods and then have them ask the question. And then I want you to answer it and tell the dowsing rods exactly what you want it to do. If it responds to your demands, then you're controlling it. There's a way that you can separate yourself from that, and you can tell the dowsing rods to, okay, I'm asking a question, I'm asking it into the universe, I'm separating myself. And there's a way you can kind of like, change your energy and like step away and not answer it and see what they do. And I bet you the dowsing rods either don't move or they move on the response or in a slower response to the person that's holding it.
Okay, I'll try.
Because you do have to be. Now I know you're psychic and I know your daughter is. So these dowsing rods must like move like crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like trying to answer things.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that some of the things you guys were able to do was not it truly answering the question in the correct form. I'm just saying that I would challenge you to try some of these other ways. So 100% when you're controlling it, when you're not, and how to be neutral.
Okay. Yeah. The mystery.
But it's kind of cool. You can freak people out, like, oh, watch, the dowsing rod's going to turn to the left, and then your mind's telling it to turn to the left. I think that's cooler, to be quite honest.
Don't ever ask the dowsing rods when you're going to die, because that's an answer you don't want to know.
The other thing is too, spirits, all different kind of like low level spirits, high level, they can use those as a way to communicate, kind of like we just heard the voices in my room. They're utilizing this channel to like yell out into the world. So, spirits will utilize that. So that's why I'm saying, and it can be dangerous. I have like a stack of Ouija boards that women bring me. They're like, oh my God, I used it. Oh my God, take this away. I don't have any collection of dowsing rods, but it's always Ouija boards that I collect.
Yeah. I guess
So you just, so what do you do with those?
They're in a special closet with special things around them. They're naughty. So
I never had one, so I don't stay away.
Yeah. One time I got a Ouija board from a girl, and she's one of my bewitches. But at the time she wasn't. She was a client. And I remember holding the Ouija board when she handed it to me, and I see 9 women drink this tea, and they all died. And it was like from 1920s or 30s because I could see what they were wearing. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then I seen them all walk off the Ouija board into my old location. I was like, okay.
Oh, I don't even know what to. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a medium, so I didn't know either.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I touched the Ouija board and maybe they were some of their energy or whatever was connected to it.
Mhm.
Maybe it was something someone channeled. Maybe it was in a place, because a lot of people bring Ouija boards into like locations. So it
Probably
just
absorbs or it takes something from each location.
Yeah.
I guess that's why I've always never looked for ghosts or anything, because I'm not like trying to bring anything home.
Well, they're with you. So you don't have to bring them home. They usually are wandering around.
Thanks, Roxanne.
Sorry.
Damn it.
Well, they've been with me forever, so I don't know.
I'm gonna tell all mine to go to
We'll
Brian's.
work through all that. So
Brian, I'll off
Go to
air.
Brian's
I'll
house.
work with you, and we can do some. I can send you some like exercises to do, or video yourself doing you and your daughter.
okay, cool.
And you and your daughter can even do an exercise where you like send her a shape. So you send it to like you look at her third eye, like right here, and you say, "Okay, I'm sending you a shape," and then you keep sending it with your psychic eye. Envision the shape, draw it out, keep sending it, and then when you're done, you say, "Okay, I'm done. Did you receive it?" And if she says yes, then she'll tell you. I do it with my kids. My kids are 7 and 9, and they get it every time. Or I should say 9 times out of 10.
All right. Forward to her over here.
Wow.
She was here yesterday, I guess. So should have had her come back today.
Brian, you're going in and out.
Am I?
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Oh,
Okay,
there
now
you
you're
go.
there.
There you go.
Okay. I hear some static. It must be my headphones.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, it's not me.
It's-
Okay.
Energy
So-
will do that too. It'll cause static in your phones, or it will lag the screen too.
When you guys are talking about all this, and Brian's just
Yeah.
staticking it on up over
Next
there.
thing you know, my lights are going to start turning on and off.
Yeah, they'll be flickering. That's the next thing that usually happens. The lights will start flicker
That only happens when I go on my son's bed. It's weird.
in your sunroom.
Huh.
When I walk in my front entry, my porch
Mhm.
light flickers every time I go by it. But only when I go by it. I don't know,
It's
weird.
only you. It's your energy. It's your auric field. So it's connecting.
Freaking A.
I'm weird.
It's weird but cool.
Yeah.
You're Gozer. I'm just kidding, dude. That's from Ghostbusters. Sorry, I just said that.
Okay. Well, enough about me, I guess. Let's talk more about this dirt.
This dirt.
Yeah, let's talk about this dirt.
All right. So what I did is I held each jar of dirt and tried to get like any images or feelings or senses off each one. Okay. So I'm going to
Okay.
start. I don't know if you remember what you jarred. Okay. Do you remember one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to try to show everyone. It's like this more granulated kind of dirt.
Mhm.
All right. So I'm going to give you my notes on that.
Okay.
Immediately when I held the jar, okay, the first image that I got, which was really interesting, but the way I see things, sometimes they'll like show me super up close or they'll like pull me back a little bit. So I'm like seeing it on an angle. What I saw is actually dirt. I know we're talking about dirt, but thin grass blades. Okay.
Okay.
On top of this dirt. Okay. Number one. Okay. And it looked like there was like a sunny day, like the sun was coming onto it. That was my first image as soon as I touched the jar. Okay. Now I could be getting that off of the day that you actually put it in the jar or where you were. Okay. But I also heard like a stream next to it, like water. Okay. Next to where this was.
Okay.
Okay. I actually got a lot off this dirt, but it was weird because the other one I didn't get, I got totally different energy off of,
Mhm.
but I feel like there was a mixed energy in this one, number one.
Okay.
Okay. Like I felt like, did you mix the dirt in this one?
No.
Okay. So it's from one location.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the energy in it was
It's crazy what you're saying. Yeah, I'm big on
Okay.
it. So, yeah, it's funny.
So you're going to tell us all after, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I kept hearing kids when I was holding this one.
Which one?
Number one.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I kept hearing kids, like kids running around. But then it was weird. Then I almost felt like I was in your backyard for a second or in someone's yard. Okay. And then
Go ahead. Oh
What?
my God. No, I'm tripping out. Just continue.
okay.
Wow.
But then it was weird. Now, when I started doing that, then all of a sudden I didn't realize, but I touched this bottle at the same time that after I heard the kids, I didn't realize, but I was holding this bottle in the other hand, like not subconsciously. I don't know how that happened. So this is where it gets a little blurred because I was channeling and I don't know why I must have picked this up in the middle of it. But then I got this like female energy and I got like anxious, kind of like anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I got like this anxiety feeling and it was a female energy. It was definitely during the day and it definitely was sunny. Okay. Then I seen like a tree and I felt like there was someone either next to it, behind it or something. But again, remember I was holding two at this point. Okay.
Okay.
Then I kept seeing like trees and leaves, but it felt like the summer, like it felt like sunny and warm, and I know you're live somewhere else than me, but then it also felt like, I don't know, I felt like I saw leaves on the ground, and that would be what we would call in like New England kind of fall, or like, you know, when you come out in the after winter and spring and everything's melting, you see leaves, but there's a sun. So, but I kind of got more of like the summer, fall kind of vibe. Okay. So that was one, but like I said, one, I didn't realize halfway through it, after I heard the kids, the water, being outside, all that stuff, seeing the small blades of grass, I somehow, somewhere along the channeling, grabbed that. I know that up to that part was definitely just one. And then somehow, I don't know why I did that. Okay. And then I'm going to go more into like, do you want me just to stop at one, or do you want me to go into two and then recap?
No, let's talk about one real quick, because one is actually from my backyard.
Okay.
First of all, it's an evacuated ant pile. Okay.
Okay.
Short blades of grass, yes, because I keep my lawn very manicured. The ant pile was located on the side of my house where my air conditioning units are, and our water hose, and we're always watering. We're always turning on water. We have a drain pan up in the attic, and during the summer, the PVC that comes out of the side of the house is dripping water and kind of flowing, you know, right there.
I felt like a stream, like I felt like hearing water running.
It is like that, and I probably need to get that fixed, actually.
Probably.
But and then right next door to me, right where this pile is there's three young kids that live, and they're always making noise and that kind of stuff. And it was on a sunny day that I did pick that up. That's pretty. Yeah, you did really good on that. That's good. I like that. Yeah, that was great.
I didn't know which one was which. I actually just text Shane and said, which one's which?
I'm not telling you, Brian.
I know. And I'm sitting over trying to read his face, and I'm like, oh man, she's hitting something here. I could see him kind of tripping out a little bit.
But she also hit something when she touched the other one along with that one too. So
I feel like that's going to cross over into further what I tell you about too.
Okay.
So it's funny though, the kids kept every time, you know, because then I realized after like I was holding two, I dropped two and picked this one back up, and it showed me the same things I just said to you. But then I kept hearing little kids running around, and I'm like, but I don't think he has little kids. But I was like, see, this is good for all people out there watching that are psychic. Your logic will stick in, because now I'm like, I don't think he has little kids. Like I heard little kids run, you know, laughing, whatever. Like they're playing in the backyard, basically. Yes. But you could hear them from a distance, you know, so I knew they weren't where when you were doing this. You know, I knew they were like the voices carrying over. But then I said to myself, Roxanne, you get what you get. You don't need to explain it. You're going to tell him, and then he'll explain it to you, you know? But I was like in my head going, I don't think he has like, these were like little kids, you know?
In fact, Roxanne, where the ant pile was on this side of the fence, there's kids. Behind them, there's 4 little kids. And right directly behind us, there's 2.
Okay, so yeah. I felt like there was kids in the background playing.
Yeah, always.
Okay, good. All right. So do you want to say anything else by one? No, and that's probably why I was seeing dirt. Because I felt like it was weird in my vision. It looked like my vision put me in the ground, and then I was looking up. But I guess if I was an ant, that's probably what it would look like. Like, you remember not Home Alone? What is it? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, yes.
Remember that vision when he was like in the thing, and he looked up? That's like what I saw. So that actually is kind of funny.
So I sent you that ant pile because I was like, okay, ants leave like kind of like a chemical trail behind them. So they all know where to go. I was like, this is going to throw her off, I think.
Yeah. So no, they were actually, the energy, they were actually showing me as if I was like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Because when I saw the vision, I'm like, I can't say Honey, I Shrunk the Kids to them. But now you said ant pile, I'm going to say it. But it was like I was seeing from like if I was in the ground and looking up, I saw the dirt, and then I saw the sharp blades of green grass.
Right on the money.
All right, cool. Are you guys ready for 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2, this is where 2 kind of comes in, where I was talking about 1, where I was feeling that female, anxious, kind of energy. I felt like, am I echoing? No? Okay. I kept feeling something was hiding behind a tree. I kept seeing like this feeling of like, I'm here, but I'm not. You know, when you play hide and go seek and you're hiding on someone, but you like look to see if you're coming. This too was daytime and sunny. Again, this was when I was holding both of them. Okay. This is when at that point I realized I was holding both of them. I did get the trees and that leaves feeling, summer into fall feeling. But the big part of number 2 was I seen darkness. Okay. So imagine being in somewhere and then someone puts a cap on something. Like that's what I was seeing. But it was weird. Then all of a sudden I got like this primal feeling of like sniffing. So like I watch my dog outside and she'll like sniff, sniff, sniff into things. And I felt like there was like a tracking going on with this particular dirt. And I'm not talking about like you guys tracking. Yeah. This is like animal tracking. And again, I kept getting that heightened sense of anxiety. But every time I went to go like grab this dirt, I felt like someone was watching me. Okay.
Dang, okay.
But then all of a sudden I kept seeing like closed, like someone put a cap on something. Okay. I did see some fur also from this particular dirt. So I don't know if there's fur in this dirt, but I saw like, and the texture of it didn't feel like, you know how our hair, well, I guess we all have different texture hair, but it definitely felt like, you know, thicker, not.
Oh, she froze.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
So much suspense.
Oh, man. We were like right there. Damn it. Oh. Hey, but this so far, this right here, it's tripping me out big time, dude.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
Okay. You cut out for a second.
That's because I'm channeling and still holding 2. There's intense energy in this, to the point, like I'm keeping this dirt. I'm keeping, like, I know this is your ant pile, which is pretty cool. I can use that for magically, but this dirt has got some stuff.
Whoa.
But it definitely has a female sense to it, and there definitely was tracking going on.
All right. So, shall we talk about number 2?
Yeah, let's talk about number 2.
Okay.
I think that's it.
So, in April of 2020, there were 5 tracks out there where we cast tracks. 4 were on the main creek bed, but this one was up off on a game trail behind a tree.
Okay.
Like it was hiding.
Okay. So that's why I seen the tree in the hiding.
And it was the first time that one of those tracks was actually found off usually the creek bed that we frequent. So, you know, the in and out, you know, the hair. This one leaves 16-inch tracks. So we've cast 20 and 16, and we've always kind of said, well, maybe it's a male and a female.
Mm-hmm.
So the 16-inch leaving individual is possibly female. So that was pretty interesting, right, Brian? I mean, that's
yeah. I'm just like trying not to explode over here.
I know, man. I'm tripping out for real. So there are lots of deer out there. Also, this was during the springtime. It did. Okay, and you said something about the leaf, right? The leaf.
I see leaves. Like I said, I felt like, you know, when the snow clears and spring happens, you know, sometimes you can get that residual of fall, like that summer into fall mode. That's why I was a little confused, because when I looked down, I seen like a leaf from like fall, you know.
Okay, you're gonna trip out on this. Okay, well, it really wasn't fall, but this is very cool because it had to have rained before we got there, or no, before they actually stepped across anything, because there was leaf litter everywhere. And actually in the track, it actually pressed down the leaves, you know, into the indention of the track. So you picking up on that was pretty damn valid. I'm gonna say that. So wow.
Her, the hair, the female hiding behind the tree.
I feel
Man,
like though
Roxanne
she
just
was
like
tracking now. This is my thing though. When I kept seeing her go back and forth, like this female energy, I felt like she was tracking. So I know, like in nature, a lot of times it's like the male puts out the thing and tries to get the female. But I feel like in this instance, I feel like the females track.
Oh.
Okay, so that's just the energy I got from it, or she's just a female. How we have tribes, like some are just more of like hunters and gatherers. Some, everyone kind of has like their thing. She was tracking something like hunting, but it didn't feel like, I don't know. It didn't feel like she was hunting like for food or anything. It just felt like she was trying to find something. Maybe she was hunting you guys.
Probably looking for Brian.
That's not.
She probably was.
Come to me.
The biggest thing though with that, that I got with her, she had this anxious energy. Like, when you're tracking something that you've lost, or you feel like a little, or maybe she was tracking and you feel like someone's watching you. I got like that vibe from her, or the female energy. The other thing is too, I kept seeing these red lines, like laser lines. Okay, that was the other thing I forgot to write in my notes. I saw like red. I'm gonna put this in my notes so I don't forget.
Okay,
laser lines.
I know what that is.
Okay, and I kept seeing like through her eyes, like I'm not going to, like, what is that? Like, it was weird, but I seen it at night. I didn't see it during the day. I seen this was like dark, and I seen red laser lights. So that, channeling the energy of this, if this is a female, Bigfoot, there was laser lights, like these red little lasers.
Okay.
What do you think that is, Jane?
Okay, I know what that is, because this also leads me to believe that we're thinking correctly, that these things travel down this, it's almost like a logging road. It's very dirt and has to be graded, and there's a bridge, and I think they're going down there, cutting off the bridge, because that's the fastest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So
correct.
They're trying to straight line it, but if now, granted, this is a very, very small town, and there are a handful of folks that live in that wooded area. So what do we see on our game cameras sometimes, Brian, at night that's going by, and what does it do? We see brake lights or lights from our cars, and or it could be from our cameras.
That's what I was getting at.
So
I think she's seeing the IR light. Since she's saying it's at night, I think this thing is hiding because it's seeing that IR, it's seeing that red beam shoot out, and it's anxious because it's trying to figure out what are these red beams shooting out, and that's the hesitation and the anxiety that it's causing. And maybe it's not so much tracking prey or tracking someone, it's tracking those cameras.
I think it's both, man.
I feel like they're definitely out a lot during the day. Okay. Like that's the energy I got anyway from two. Okay. Doesn't mean, every animal's the same or any, whatever. But the night, definitely when I seen the red lights, I felt like a little scared, but curious as what it was.
Another thing
but intuitively, I don't think it thought that it could hurt. It was just kind of like trying to process it.
Okay.
When you talk about anxiety, Shane, and where that track come from, you remember your day when you went we went down that creek a little farther, and you had that feeling of anxiety, and you almost kind of, I don't want to say you were like in a panic mode, but you had a
Oh no,
weird,
dude, I was real close to feel like what people describe as a panic attack, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, it was visible. You know what I mean? Like you could tell something was wrong with you that day.
That was something I've never experienced before, and I haven't ever again since that day.
But that's very close proximity. You know,
Yeah,
in the scheme of things. We're talking
we
what,
were
maybe
in the path of
30,
stuff.
30,
Yeah.
40, maybe 50 yards down
Mhm.
when that kind of came over you. So
Yeah.
Now, did you get a print that day or no?
It was within a couple of days. It was like a
Okay.
day or two after Brian and Tim went and cast 16-inch tracks. This was spring of 2018.
yeah, it was a follow up to that. So
Mhm.
Okay. So when you felt that energy, when did you actually have a cast? Like when were you able? Like how many months, how many years after? And that.
Oh no, it was
location?
just like a day. It was just like a day or two
Okay.
before.
So this is my theory on it. Energy leaves prints. So how I was able to feel, the energy of what was going on with two. I think what you did is that was a psychic ability to say, oh, you're like, it's around you. Like you're in the right spot. Either you're standing on it, maybe it's underground. You're in the right area. So there's these energy force fields that will make you actually physically feel sick. Because
Yeah,
my
I was
belief with Bigfoot or any spiritual creature is that they hold, kind of when we talk about aliens and stuff like that, they could. Okay. Their energy, even from channeling, and myself having experience with one, is different. They're more on the plane of like the deceased versus the living. They're like in between. So their magnetic field, like think of this way, like if we lived in the woods and we got off grid, our psychic ability and everything would start to grow and amplify because we, as humans, we don't use them anymore. We use electronics, we use everything else. So we've like our natural abilities have kind of like they're kaput, basically, for the most part. Some people, obviously, myself and you too, when you're into something like this and you're trying to track or understand a spiritual being that's living on this plane, but I feel like does fraction, your natural abilities are going to tell you, because what's going to happen is if you're in that area of it, it will actually send you a signal to like leave, like get out of my space. I'll give you an example. One time, not very proud of this moment, but someone really did me wrong. And in the room, I psychically choked her out. Bad. Shouldn't have done
I'm
it.
not making Roxanne mad.
But it was, my emotions were hurt. It was like that fight or flight feeling, and she started having an asthma attack. And so I had to release that energy. And, I said to myself, like, this isn't who I am. Don't do that. But it was it was like this actual animal-esque instinct to attack,
all right.
because I felt like my territory was being taken from me, because in this particular instance, it was. And I was blindsided by it. So think of that with anything, you feel like your area or something's being taken from you. Think of us with our kids, right? When someone like comes at our kids, we're like, whoa, 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 what you doing? Like, what's going on? I'm going to knock you out. And you do what you got to do and ask questions later sometimes, because there's that natural feeling. And I feel like these particular beings can send those wavelengths of like, I'm going to make you really sick right now, so you leave where I am so I can move on. Yeah. Same thing with deer. Like I can hear deer before deer even comes out. Even like small animals, ever since I was a kid, I can hear the energy. So I'll slow my car down. And every time, deer comes out and it will just stand there, look at me, I have videos of it. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just connecting to that,
Yeah.
Michael brought up a good point when he said, a lot of insight by channeling samples from characters. It'd be really cool if we could find a way to get Roxanne to come to Oklahoma when we're filming the show, that we're doing, Shane and I are doing a TV show. If we could get you somehow here in Oklahoma and take you to Squatch Creek, I just wonder
I love that.
what could
Oh
happen.
my God, that would be crazy.
Like the universe would probably just like fold on itself.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah, we would definitely have to make sure that we are, we have a game plan going in, because, I'm, as a witch, I tend to say that when things, I have a relationship with spirituality and spiritual beings. And if you want to present yourself to me, that's fine. But if there's a sense of where they want to present themselves and have an experience, they will actually cut out cameras, so you'll never catch it on film, but you'll actually experience it, and then they'll ghost out. But I think it's just cool to have that experience. So I think, if I were to do something, I would definitely have to tell you guys, like, I would be on their side versus your side of like protection,
yeah, definitely.
But we would definitely have, not that I'm gonna like choke you guys out, don't worry.
Oh my God, don't psychic choke. Oh,
You got a
psychic
fan here,
choke
apparently, because I like her a psychic chokeout.
I did it. My husband was a witness to it. It was a bad situation.
Your husband was like, oh
yeah.
man, flowers every day for this lady, I think. Just kidding.
It's funny because like I was like learning like how to work with my energy and like do different things. So, and I like blew up a wine glass one night out with my husband. I was getting aggravated with them, and a cop friend saw me do it. He was like, Roxanne, that wine bounced out of the glass before it even blew up in your hand. I still have the glass as like, do I have it in here? Oh yeah. Hold on. This is one part of it.
Oh wow.
I have the other little parts in a cup, and this was the other one. I kept it as like cool evidence.
Yeah.
And to like
that is
help
cool.
with my like people that I'm teaching, like help expand their psychic stuff, like to see what they could catch off it. So
Wow.
yeah. There's been some cool stuff.
Mark,
If we ever form
don't
an
hurt people
Avengers
intentionally.
team, you have to be on our team, Roxanne.
Yes, I definitely want to.
Yeah.
The energy witch.
You have powers.
My big thing is like every time I travel, there's thunderstorms. No matter what happens, there's always like, whether it's like lightning, thunder, snow, like crazy things kind of happen, but it usually has like high electrical currents. So
don't come in the spring then, because you'll generate some tornadoes here in Oklahoma.
yeah,
You don't need none of that bad stuff.
God.
It gets crazy down here in the spring. So
yeah, I definitely want to do that with you guys. That would be awesome.
yeah, that'd be cool. We should see if we can't make that happen.
See if we can't make that happen for sure.
I'll
Hey, Mark.
definitely travel for that. That's like pretty cool.
Mark Newell has a
It was
good-
like this the test to be like, can she really say? Invite her.
Oh, you just
check.
Not
You
so much a
just-
test.
yeah.
I think Shane and I were just like, this whole psychic stuff is really cool to both of
I don't
us.
know anything about it.
We
You know?
focus on Bigfoot because that's our thing, but we still talk about this side of it too, especially with things that's happened to me, and I've shared a lot of that with Shane, probably more so than I've shared with anyone else, right? I mean, as
That's
far
right,
as
buddy. That's right.
yeah, he's my brother from another mother type situation. So
Yeah.
he's got to hear a lot of weird stories, and so when we met you, and it kind of like, I don't know, just kind of made me just come out of my shell a little more and just start talking about it. So.
You helped Brian without even trying.
See, that's kind of like my thing. I don't know. A lot of people say that they're like, I'll go to a restaurant, I'll sit at the bar by myself, and then, people will just start like, talking about stuff that they never talked about with anybody, and I think because who I am and what I do, the aura and the energy around me kind of does it,
It's weird because I have that same effect. Like,
yeah,
people share way too much with me.
oversharing.
Yeah. Like I have guys that work with me, and like they tell me stuff they shouldn't be telling me, right? And it's like, and I joke about being the resident, shrink or whatever at our company, because I have guys come in, they'll sit down, tell me all these personal things, and I'm like stone faced, like, just, and I don't know if it's just because I'm the old man there or what, but like I always feel like people tell me like, man, I could just talk to you about anything, and I don't know, it's just weird that you say that. So
yeah, it's an energy that it's an energy that you emit. And I'm going to be honest, I've met some pompous, like ghost hunters and, Bigfoot, who's ever saying they're a master and expert in any of this is like beyond me. Cause I always say I'm always a teacher and I'm always a student and a master of nothing. We're just constantly learning and learning and learning. But I find that the people who, when you're crossing into that realm of the other realms, when you're open and available to have like empathy, you're going to get more experiences because the energy is going to gravitate to you. If you're negative or rude or crude, I've seen a lot of possessions and, I've had to help remove, some of those because the ego and the fear and all that take over. They're all big and bad until, their life's falling apart.
Exactly.
So I would say, always approach stuff,
Mark had a cool question about batteries dying in cameras and recorders. If you had any ideas on that?
Yes.
If it's possible Bigfoot are around, or when the Bigfoot are gone, the batteries are working again.
Yep. So what they're going to do is, and I can do the same thing. Anybody who has like a big spiritual like energy charge and knows how to manipulate energy, okay, and utilize the energy in the universe. Now, it's going to sound crazy, but trees communicate. Since I was a kid, I've always been able to hear trees, and I didn't realize it, that I was actually just hearing the vibrational pulls of nature. So it wasn't just the trees, but in science, they know that fungi and trees actually do communicate. So Bigfoot, in my theories, okay, would communicate with nature and utilize its energy to manipulate situations or to shut things down, or their energy gets so amped up because they're in a situation of distress that they can shut things down. That's why like your lights flicker when you walk in, like if you're walking into your house and it's like, we all know we have families, we walk in the front door, we don't know what we're walking into, right? So your energy is kind of like, or maybe you're excited. So it will it will use any energy force to do that. And that's a number one thing. I've done paranormal investigations. I've done things with like Travel Channel, and like their cameras like drain as soon as I started talking. And now you think Travel Channel, right? They have like the really good, expensive equipment.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh my God, I need another battery. Oh my God, I need another battery. And I'm only doing like a 10-minute like little snippet, because I'm, nervous but then also like, I'm going to do this. So I'm pulling in all the energy of the room and I don't realize what I'm doing at that point. I'm just like shutting things down, making it worse. But once you breathe and relax, then that energy is more like of a consistent flow. So when we think of negative energy, there's negative and positive. Negative is actually feminine. It's female, of course, right?
I knew it.
Yeah, I knew it. So negative energy is female, but is the most powerful. Positive energy is male, and it is more of a,
We're weaker.
I'm not going to say anything.
One weaker, but
I'm not going to comment on that.
I'm not going to actually go into like how if you look at the plugs in your house, okay, the female is the wall unit and the male is the part that goes into the wall.
That was a great.
I don't want to get choked out remotely, so I'm just going to stay neutral here. I'm not even.
You can't catch me if I'm moving like this.
I finally got rid of the reddish tint to my face due to blood pressure. I don't want to turn blue all of a sudden. So,
but it tells you women are what? We give birth. We're grounded, right? We're more like connected to nature for the most part. I'm not saying men aren't, but we're that foundation. We're the ones that are birthing children. So we're that grounding, strong charge. I say if women could rule the world, we would, but we might destroy each other in the meantime. So. But the most important thing is like when it comes to energy, if you find that batteries are being like, sucked up and things like that, everyone just needs to take a breath and relax. If you're trying to find Bigfoot or a ghost, then know that it could be coming from someone that you're with in a group that has that ability to pull energy from other things. We all do. We all pull energy from each other. But if you're really hunting something, most likely it is something else that's pulling it, whether it's an animal or spirit or so forth, or Bigfoot.
Or Bigfoot.
That's a cool thing I think about Bigfoot and some of these other spiritual beings is that they play the best hide and go seek.
Oh yeah.
And they can literally just shut you down in like 2 seconds. Like, well, we're done.
All right.
Now you see me, now you don't.
I caught him one day. It's okay. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Brian
did it seem like slow mo, like you were like, like time kind of stopped a little bit?
It seemed like an eternity.
Yeah.
Really did.
Yeah. Now what you actually entered is an energy loop. So the reason why it seemed because actually what was happening is your brain was actually trying to process something that to be real, right? But now you're actually seeing it, and your psychic ability and your aura actually came. Your whole body, basically, when we talk about spirit, we talk about your aura, came all the way out to meet it before your actual physical body did.
Yeah, it took me a week to finally admit it.
Yeah,
It
took him a while just to even open up to us about it.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, it was probably 4 or 5 days before I even told Jane. So.
And I was like, "What?" I know.
Because you have to process it, and it's such a humbling, I think, experience too. I think that's kind of the cool part about it. Is like it's almost like, do you want it? It feels so sacred that you want to keep it to yourself, but like in your realm, when you come out of it, you like slap yourself in the face and like, no, I got to tell people.
Yeah. I was like, I got to share this because that's what we work so hard for,
right? Right. You can't keep it to yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And luckily, I had one of the guys with me when it happened.
Yeah. So there was 2 different visuals.
It was an odd night, that's for sure. So.
I find in like any of these fields, my field, everything, even when I do readings, it's always about validation. Even me with the, doing their, I think actually that was my idea on our last podcast. I was like, send me some dirt, I'll like, do my symmetry where I hold it and see what's going on. I think it's one of those things in life where it's cool, but I feel like, I don't know.
I want to fly to Rhode Island and bring you my hair sample and just let you hold it.
Oh my gosh.
Really want to do. That's what's going through my head right now. Is like, can I fly to Rhode Island and let her hold this hair sample without contaminating it? You know what I mean? Like,
I can put my hand above it. I don't have to touch it.
Cut it in half, Brian.
No. Just kidding. You hurt my soul when you said that.
I can just put my hand right above it and see what I get. Well, hey, if I come down for one of your things, then I can hover over that hair sample. Well, it's interesting you said that because the fur that I seen was like, like as if I pulled a piece, it looked more than one piece. It was like, good, like if you pulled a bunch of hair out at once. When I was with 2.
Do you have a color? Did you get a color out of that?
Yeah. Yeah, I did actually. It actually looked dark brown, but then when I saw it in the light, it looked lighter off to the tips of it.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And it felt thick. It didn't feel like anything I've, not that I walk up and like touch grizzly bears or anything.
Yeah,
But I felt like even like beer, like I just felt like the hair of it was, I would say like go to a lab and get it like tested. Because I felt like the consistency was different about it. There was something about the hair that was, it could be just my psychic ability that maybe it's Bigfoot's hair and that's why it's off to me. I didn't see like a scale, an animal didn't or anything come to my mind's eye when I saw the hair.
Okay. So I have more of that dirt, of course. because I dug up the whole track. So I've placed some more dirt in 7 vials that were sterile. And hopefully this opportunity that Brian and I are going to get into, because I've already kind of let them know what I have. They would like to do an eDNA test on it.
Yep.
So that's also exciting too.
Yeah, and they're
So-
going to test the hair
and
sample.
the hair. Yeah, they're gonna test.
But
the
I
hair
would
too.
like for you to be in the presence of it first. You know what I mean? Before we send it off to the lab to be destroyed.
Yes. When are you guys doing that?
We were originally supposed to start filming this weekend, but unfortunately, they have a meeting in New York City, so we're going to have to switch back our.
Okay.
I already did one day of filming with them here in Oklahoma City. So, but as far as in the woods, we were supposed to start this weekend. So,
Yeah.
so now I'm free this weekend. I can fly to Rhode Island.
You should.
I wonder if the network will let me borrow the jet.
We're here.
Well, maybe the network will, tell them, let them see the clip today, So I know
yeah,
because
you
I've
know
worked
what?
with
That'd be a good
networks
idea.
before. They'll, they've sent me out different places, but they, they
They're already monitoring us, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
yeah, they're monitoring you right now. Are you able to even talk about this show?
We could talk about the
Doing
show.
a show.
Yeah, we can't talk about the network.
Yeah.
It's like telling my story of my sighting. I could only be vague in that. I can't even tell that story anymore until we get it
Until
on.
it's done.
Yeah. Yeah. If you read their contracts, it's like, oh yeah, and your third born down the line when you're dead, we still come sue you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we know a witch, suckers.
That's
She will
right.
remotely choke
Could
you
you
out.
do little chokey chokes, and I'll be like, "This no blood on my hands. I was in the room, but
Yeah,
you know?
in there. You weren't even in the state. So,
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
like we got a lethal weapon
I'm
in
gonna
our
send you some hair in the mail with an envelope
Yeah,
that
you
says
do.
choke this person. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I have a question. Does that hair sample you have is it white at the tip?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so that's interesting you say that too, because that hair sample was pulled from 16-inch prints also, but those prints didn't match the prints that we cast last April. The original 16-inch prints on the heel of the left foot, is it the
Yeah.
left foot? There's almost like I want to say like a contusion or something, like a wound that calloused over, because we've cast this print twice now in over a year's time, and it's the same individual or creature.
So I pulled 2 hairs out of that footprint.
Yeah.
I sent one to our so-called expert in the Bigfoot world,
Yeah.
Dr. Jeff Meldrum. Sent it to him in 2018, right, Shane?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was not too far
I
after.
pulled 2 hairs. I kept the long one for future DNA testing. The short one I sent to him, and I don't know, after about 100 and something exchanges of emails and instant messages and stuff like that, he's totally avoided me since he's done the I don't know what do you call it, I don't know what he did. He didn't do a DNA, but he did a microscopic
Thing on it.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for, study or whatever. 'Cause I believe he's a professor at Idaho State University or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Professor of anthropology.
Yeah, and so I haven't been able to get any of those test results from him since then. So.
I do see one hair psychically that's long. Okay. That definitely would have came, out of having long hair, not short hair, but I do see one with like white at the end of it. So, or a lighter, it could be like a blonde shade.
Okay.
Like when you hold it up to the light.
Now I haven't handled the hair since. I collected it, put it in an envelope, it's sealed up. So I haven't looked at it in 3 years, right?
Okay.
I don't want any contaminants from myself or anything like that to get in it. So it's been locked up, stored away. Nobody has laid eyes on it. So I honestly couldn't tell you if I held it up to the light if there is a white tip. There could be, but it's a reddish brown, almost like what my beard used to be before it all went white.
Like this right here, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like
there's
my
a
little.
little speck of
These are
red.
racing. Brian, these are racing stripes, dude.
Is that what it is? Mine's just glitter. Mine's just glitter. But
Yeah.
of course, I had a
when I was-
long beard at that time too, so a lot of people were like, "Well, it's your beard." My beard grows real coarse. It's kind of a kinky hair. It doesn't lay straight. This is like a real silky, smooth, fine hair. So, or both of them were. So.
Oh, nice. Okay. Maybe I was seeing your beard here.
No, what you were looking at was a totally different
I think you're looking
creature.
at, yeah, it could be just totally different creature. So, like
Yeah.
James was saying, it was definitely a different track, a different animal.
And
Oh, okay.
even the big toe shape's different. It's not as spadey looking.
Yeah.
It's more like off egg shaped kind of.
Did you were you able to like put that print to any animal that we know or no?
The footprint.
The one you said that was like different, that had like the callus.
They're all just very human like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Have you seen them? Have you seen our track?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Uno momento.
Yeah, you got one.
Oh.
Brian's got one handy. I have to get mine out of containers. I have
That's all right.
cats.
We'll let him get that. But
Yes, you were spot on with both of those. You did great. That was.
good.
I don't even know what to say, to be honest.
So on the
What you
day
got,
that
Brian?
we grabbed the hair, there was 4 tracks, and I was able to cast 2 of them, a right and a left. This is the right, and you'll see this pile here. That's just
Yeah.
screwed up, but that's where Shane's talking about the toe. It's just kind of a.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get into the heel there. So
Is that the
It is-
one?
That's the one that's got the bump, right?
No, I don't think.
yeah,
Is it?
this
Yeah,
one-
it is.
there's that little lump right there.
Right there. Like when you
Yeah,
turn
you
it,
can see it.
when you turn it sideways to its profile.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see
Yeah,
it.
you can see it.
So that was 2018, and then in 2019 January, Mr. Bill got out there and he cast one, and it was the same foot, same size, and had that same exact thing on the heel. Same thing.
Okay, so it's the same.
So
It may be the same particular.
that was the same one. But then in April last year, it was a 16-inch print, but it looked nothing like these prints here.
Now that's
At
the
all.
one from the dirt from 2, correct?
Yes.
Because I was gonna say that.
So you're reading off of a whole new animal
Right.
we haven't seen walk through there.
Okay, because I keep like when we talk about things or I'm like psychically, so I can do this thing where I can put myself in a place and time, like travel back in time, even with my eyes open. I know it's creepy. Most people that have this ability, which is like 1 or 2% of the population, they have their eyes closed, but I'm able to like remote view, so I can go like somewhere current, I can go somewhere like in time, or I can, go a little bit into the future.
Cool.
And then I'm able to like sense, feel, use all my senses, the normal human senses, to see what's there. I've done it before for a show where I went into a place and did that psychically, where, the producer contacted me or her assistant and asked me, what I was able to do and what I experienced. And then actually we have it on footage, like those things, I was like, oh, there's 4 doors at this building. And the person that's always been able to go in there was like, no, there's not 4 doors. When we go to do the investigation, he was like, oh my God, there's 4 doors. Like I'm in here all the time, every day, and I never knew there was 4 doors, but I was able to see the 4 doors in the dark, remote viewing, walking through the building.
Wow.
So, that's the other thing, you think you go somewhere all the time, like, oh yeah, I go to the gym every day, and you think you see and know where everything is, but our minds are so, we're thinking of, I'm going to go do the gym and then I'm going to go grocery shopping. So we're not really picking up on like other things. So it's a wild world.
It is wild. Yes, ma'am.
But yeah, like I said, I would love to go out there, and I mean, that would be like an awesome, just because I had my own Bigfoot experience that, a female that, from our last live when she came into my reading room, like one of my clients actually recorded it. Like she heard the footsteps, like it's, really happening, but I saw it and she didn't, but then she heard it walk out and the door closed. It was crazy and no one was there, to the regular person's eye. But that particular Bigfoot I saw that was female did have reddish blonde hair, what we would call like strawberry blonde. Yep. Like more like lighter colors, not the saying that all Bigfoots are one color, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've heard different
all the time.
colors.
Yeah.
White ones, you name it.
Gray.
I think it's based on where they live too, like what parts of the world they live. Would probably determine their coloring because they would have to blend into nature. They would, you'd pull in those traits, like that one that you had the mark on the foot or the callus. I noticed, or immediately my thought was, okay, the Bigfoot's kind of off to like the right, correct? The big toe.
Oh, like where it stays off?
Where it's angled.
Oh yeah.
So like it's like
it just kind of, it's a little, it's not really divergent. It's more of like it's
like a nub.
Kind of like it's spaced out.
Yeah, it's just I know the lighting is probably really bad there.
You want me to go get mine from downstairs, Brian?
Yeah, you can see the second toes there.
Hang on.
Now, see that big space between it? There's no toe, right? Now, could there have been a toe and like it didn't get printed? That's a possibility.
No, we have confirmation of the other ones over here. So
okay.
And you'll see in the other tracks, it's pretty common that big toe is played out. At least in this area. Now, that doesn't mean all Bigfoot tracks are that way, of course. I've seen them where all the toes are just bunched right up, But like you said, different things are going to affect things differently, right?
Yeah, or how they're born, birth defects, things like that, what we call birth defects. But the fact that the big toe is that much space and it's leaning that way, and then you also have the callus on that side tells me that maybe there's a weight differential that they're pushing more on that side, which would cause, I know when I walk barefoot, I probably should be saying this on there, but like when I go to the salon to get my pedicure, they're like, ooh, you need callus removal, because I'm always walking around barefoot. So, and I use so you'll see like on certain sides of the feet, more callus will build up because of,
you're walking over that rough terrain. So.
Right. Oh, yeah.
See how it
yeah, there's the space. Yep. That's cool.
Yeah. So this track is from
that's a good one.
The dirt you read.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, I like that one.
Line. Yeah. It's huge. The fourth toe didn't show up that great. It's kind of right here. But 1, 2, 3, all 5 toes. You got this space. Just very.
And the space could be a family trait. Because that's one thing we've talked about. This is the one family group. And so while there might be 3 or 4 different ones, they all have that same characteristic. They all
right, which is like a genetic thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
No, that's cool. Yeah, that foot definitely felt female to me. So that's the one I have the dart on, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm in the midst of I just need the time. I'm gonna make replicas of this.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to send you one.
Yeah, I would love it.
Yeah.
And people check it out too when they come.
Go with your jar.
Yes, and then I'll put like a little. You can give me a little description, or
yes,
it'll be fun. I'll put my little notes. I got my little notebook. So this is going to be officially you guys' like Bigfoot notebook pad.
Oh, cool!
It was a little handy travel one. Okay. So if I come out, I'll make more notes and see things psychically. But we could play around, out in the where you are tracking them and see, I would like to sit and feel the energy and then see if I can call them in with my mind.
Ooh, we got to get you here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be really cool.
I totally.
And maybe, they come into a certain point where I'm just channeling, and hearing them. One of the things is I do communicate with all living things. So even animals. So, a lot of people that are also, have no language barrier or have, different disabilities where they can't actually physically speak, I'm able to communicate with them telepathically. Like I have a client here, brings our father in, and they can't really understand him because he has like severe dementia, but he talks to me and I know exactly what he's talking about. And I say it back to him and he's like, yeah,
Oh, wow.
So, that's, another really cool little ability that comes in handy when you're out in nature.
All right, Walter. What's up, Walter?
Hi, Walter. I just seen he had like a little Thor thing. I love Thor. Thunder
Oh,
is
yeah,
my thing.
Walter. I was out with Walter this weekend. He had a really great experience out there. We went and checked out his spot, and you know how like people, Brian, they put up tree structures, and maybe Bigfoot broke this. Well, this tree was green, over 9 foot tall. It was snapped and just splintered, and then went down so hard that it broke off the tip
Oh wow.
of the tree too.
Wow.
And there was nothing fell on it. There was nothing around it, and it was a green live tree. And I was like, damn. So he has a really great story. I'm not going to tell it, but
That's cool.
that was one of the things when he was explaining, that was one of the things he was like, showed us. And, back at camp, he was a very, I just met him. And so we're already joking around and, having fun. And then we get to this area, his whole demeanor just changed.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, I think anything in nature to like harm a tree or to do anything like that my thought would be that they needed to either get out of there quick, or maybe they were holding on to something that they were startled and then broke it because the strength, so I don't think if it was a Bigfoot, I don't think it did it on purpose. I think it did it out of like something going on that was like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
Because
Michael Payton wants to do a painting for you, Roxanne.
Thank you, Michael. What kind of painting?
Oh, he does. His paintings are great.
Yeah.
They're great.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I'd love that.
So,
Can you tell if Bigfoot is in the area by?
I always liked Mona Lisa.
There you go.
we'll do you a Bigfoot version of Mona Lisa.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and we talked about the remote viewing. Can Squad is asking, can you tell if Bigfoot are in an area by GPS or maps by remote viewing? So,
I'm also wondering, I mean, I know this sounds a little weird, but I'm going to throw it out there. Women, when they're menstruating too, we're more connected to nature and things going around. I know you guys all get mad at us like the week before and you're like, you're miserable. Like, who are you?
never.
But once we do, we're more like, okay. We may be miserable with pain or things, everyone's a little different, but, I know it sounds weird, but, women, when they used to track going back hundreds, when women were the hunters and gatherers, they would go under full moons of wind, and then the women in the tribe would all menstruate at the same time, and then they would go out and hunt because they would actually pull the male.
Wow.
Yeah.
Real
So,
quick,
and that's just in nature. That's like a normal,
That's
cool. I'm not going to say anything like, blood or anything like that. I'm just saying in general, like when a woman or anything in nature is, you will start to see more of like action going on in the woods and stuff too.
I want to circle back to something that's just been bugging me this whole show.
Okay.
So when we were talking about my daughter and speaking that third eye, I've had a shape in my mind since that conversation.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm getting the shape from, but I want to see if you know what the shape is.
All right. I'm going to put it.
I don't know what this is. It's been bugging me the whole show. Like
You don't know what kind of shape it is, or you know what kind of shape
I know what it is. I want to see if you can guess what it is.
Okay. I can't see yours. Pull yours forward.
There it
There you
is.
go.
The entire show, I have been thinking nothing but of a triangle.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why, but for some reason, I have just been thinking of triangles the entire show.
Yes.
And it has been tripping me out.
Oh my God,
We did it at the same time, so everyone knows there's no
I give
problem.
up.
Oh man.
I give up. I'm done.
I'm the one for
Holy
you guys, right?
Where's
I'm
the
being-
microphone? We got to drop that sucker.
Listen,
Right
I want to be the first witch that goes out there with
Yes.
real professional Bigfoot guys.
Yes.
All right.
That is so weird. As soon as you said that earlier in the show, and that was
Yeah.
an hour ago, right? Because we're on
Well
for
over an hour ago. And
Yeah.
it's funny because when I told you about connecting with your kids and how I connect with my kids, I actually sent you that shape.
Yeah,
I
and
never
it hit
said
me. It hit me immediately.
kept-
I just didn't say
Yeah.
that.
So, and I, it was funny because I kept like sending it and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, maybe he'll say something later or, but I just psychically like sent it to you because you were open to receive because you were in that space of talking about,
Mhm.
what happens is you're open to receive those messages. So I sent that to you.
So
As soon as
weird.
you said, you're like, I see a shape. That's why I was like, I'm doing it right now. I'm writing it down and I'm going to show you at the same
So
time.
weird. Because I just was like, why am I thinking about triangles? And I
Yeah.
kept just right, and I caught myself a few times like just zoning out for a minute, like
Yeah.
while I was talking, and I was like, triangles, and I'm looking around the room like I don't have any triangles anywhere. Like I'm trying to find a triangle on my desk or anything, and I'm like, I don't have a triangle.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, I'm just crazy, right? So, but it just for the last hour or so, it's just been triangle.
So basically, what was happening is I sent it, you received it. So now you have this message and you're like, I have to give it. Like, why am I keep seeing it? Will keep haunting you sometimes
Yeah.
until you just kind of like let it go. That's what I always tell people to journal. But it was meant for us to do that on the show. So then people,
Weird.
there's that believability too. And I think that's really cool is like when people get to see like what we just did and it was like off the cuff, like,
Yeah. It's like, because I haven't spoke to you since the last time you were on, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, we tried to like, let's do Wednesday. And then I had something. And then it was like, I'm like, these Wednesdays for me, these witchy Wednesdays have been like so crazy. And then today we were supposed to have this wicked thunderstorm. So all day I was doing my thing about like pushing the thunderstorm, I said, I need to do this podcast because I'll lose like electricity and I won't be able to do it. And it went 10 miles offshore today. So maybe I wasn't the only one pushing the big thunderstorms we were supposed to have today, but we're good.
That's just weird. Like, I'm flabbergasted.
Just so everyone can see, we drew it at the same time. They can go back.
This whole episode has been awesome, by the way.
Right?
It's just,
Nice.
that's insane.
And you know what? I was almost drawn to draw. I don't know if that makes sense, but I had a slight feeling of a diamond.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it a diamond? And then I was like, no, it's not a diamond. It's much simpler than that. And I was like, it just seems like a triangle. And I'm saying it in my head, like I'm having this conversation in my head while I'm multitasking here.
Yeah.
You guys are talking, and I'm just going through my head about this triangle. And then I start thinking, of course, because I overthink everything, right? That's what I'm known for. I started thinking about pyramids and like I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what is this rabbit hole I'm running down right now? And I'm just like, okay, no, it's nothing that elaborate. It's just a triangle. And
Just a triangle, yeah.
So
And that's
like,
how your psychic ability goes because you will go down that rabbit hole. Like, you'll start thinking like, oh, I see a triangle, but it can't just be a triangle. Like there's another message or another thing. That's your logical mind trying to create a story around it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to like wrap its mind.
I went all off the reservation. I ain't gonna lie.
That's okay.
My mind was everywhere.
So if the triangle, if you keep seeing it, right? So it's actually going to spin in a circle. Okay. So if you were to spin this into a circle, I'm not really good at this whole Pictionary thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, you would pull this down and it would be mirror image would be a diamond.
Yeah.
Okay. Mirror image, if you put them together and it would be a diamond. So sometimes your psychic ability will, like, you'll know it's a triangle, but then you see a diamond. It's because you're seeing the mirror image of it. So it will, sometimes you'll see a reflection, which will create another shape.
Do you see in my body language right now how weirded out I am? Like, I am so taken aback. Like, I just.
Let's go find Bigfoot.
All right, let's
do this. Like,
let's do this. Would be like, oh.
I don't even know what else to do or say at this point.
Like, I know, man. She's like, wow, I kicked it out of the park tonight, man. Holy crap.
The dirt sample was amazing if that's all that happened. But
definitely.
I mean,
right. Brother.
See, I just sent you an image. I didn't try choking you out though, because you're on my good side.
Thank God. Thank God. I do not need no Darth Vader fill the force choking out stuff from halfway across the country.
Listen, we all meet up. I'll show you some cool stuff, and then you can go back and show your wives, and then she'd be like, "Whoa, that's crazy."
All right.
Or I'll teach your wives it, and then you guys be really scared.
Oh my God! Don't do that.
That's that guy over there.
They'd be able to choke from a distance.
We'll let her teach Jen some things, and she'll
man, this will be like my last show.
Exactly.
Choking Shane out from downstairs.
She'll be able to do it with her mind and, like, send messages to him.
Oh man.
Mercy.
Dang it. I hope none of that happens.
Oh, Thor said he has a triangle tattoo on his wrist.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
See? Very cool.
Yeah.
We're all interconnected.
What's up, Joe?
Joe got here way late. Joe, you need to go back to the beginning because it's been a while.
Yeah, dude, you gotta. Oh my God, you gotta watch this.
I know. I have to share this on my Facebook too, and my
yes,
definitely,
my stuff too.
Definitely.
This is good. This was good.
Sure.
You know, we have to go back and look at the first show. Share the first show, then the second show, like what, a year and a half later or whatever.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
or a year later.
Yeah, about a year. I think it was about a year later.
Yeah, it's about a year. Yeah.
Has it been?
Yeah.
I think so. I have to go back and look on the on the Facebook page and just see
I don't know.
I posted the
apply for me.
Wow, Brian, you gotta ask those producers. Say, I need her to see this hairpiece before
I do. Like, I'm hoping he's watching, or at least skim through the content, to make sure we didn't break any rules tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't think we've broken any rules.
Nah, we haven't broken any rules. I think Shane and I got this down. What we can and can't say now. So
yeah,
good. I'm excited. You guys deserve to be kind of out there and show people, because there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that are fakes, and it's just the truth. I mean, we have it in every business line. It's not just like our kind of crazy world. So it's really nice to have real people, solid people, kind of pushing through and and trying to prove or disprove what they found. It's not like everything is Bigfoot. Let's figure out what this is. I know we call it Bigfoot. Is it Bigfoot?
Yeah.
So, what is it? It's just it's think of science when people go out and scientists go out and they are in a new area and they're looking at nature, like they've never seen this butterfly before, and they're like studying it, and it's this whole nother cool thing about our world, and that we live in.
Exactly.
So, I think it's awesome. But I will definitely tell you from what I've channeled, from my personal experience, they don't want to be hunted like.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest. I think that's going to be that's the biggest tough part. I think about being a Bigfoot researcher, and is that they're really good at staying hidden for the most part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Some of those Bigfoot guys, like you guys that have those abilities, get really close, because what you're doing is you're coming into their world.
Yeah.
We got lucky.
We did get lucky, and it caused us to have like a schedule that we keep. We're trying to keep their schedule, I guess.
Yep. Now, the one thing I can tell you guys is that even though I seen at dark, like that something being covered, that was the other thing on too. I kept feeling like someone put a cover over me. Like, you know, so I don't know if maybe I was just seeing the cast being put on it. Is it like dark? Is the cast like a, I mean, it would make the dark look dark if you put a cast over it, but I felt like something kept like hidden for some reason.
That's weird. I don't know what that could be.
I don't know. Yeah,
And it was at like it was definitely dark out.
Mhm.
You know, and that's when I seen those red lights too. So
I
And
love
they-
that you saw that. I love that you saw all that. That's just
Yeah.
Good light.
awesome.
but I you know, I think if you're gonna really truly see one, I think you're gonna see it most likely certain times during the day more than at night.
I would
That's
agree
just
with
my theory.
Yeah, no, I could
I would
definitely see that being.
Yeah.
Have you seemed to find like prints more freshly during the day than at night, or you just don't know? It just you stumble
I
upon.
just don't know when they're made. I just
We-
know
Yeah,
that.
we think may have found them within a couple of days. So we
Yeah.
can tell
Okay.
day or night. So
I always felt like we're just right behind their heels here.
Yeah.
We're just.
Yeah.
You know.
just
Like we
because
got-
of our routines where Shane comes up, I go down, another guy goes down. So we have a rotation, you know, where we're checking this place just routinely.
Oh, and Roxanne, I've got. I mean, I have a camera out there right now. That if anything triggers it, it sends me a picture, and I have it on set to 3-shot burst. So that's the
Ooh.
latest one I got. So you can see that over here. That's the
Oh,
antenna.
yeah.
The antenna. I think a squirrel probably knocked it down or whatever.
That's a
But
pretty good shot, though. That's a good camera.
It is. It's about 10, 12 feet in the air up on the tree.
Yeah.
So-
Wow. That's cool.
And then I
Remember,
have them.
though,
Go ahead.
remember they're going to know your patterns too. So if you have
Yeah.
certain cycled patterns, you know, stay on those patterns because you guys are obviously getting to something. But if you seem to find these prints and you're like 2 or 3 days behind and you figure like, okay, this is our schedule, maybe you mix up your schedule a little bit because if they're feeling it psychically or they're watching you like they're watching you more than you're watching them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So if you want to, you know, I think the reason why Brian was able to see one is because I think the schedule was mixed up, right, Brian?
Total different area too.
Different area. That was an area that I had spent. I added up the days that year. In that one 2018 time, I think I had added up my days. I'd spent 62 nights there that year. So for me, I think it was a matter of repetitive being there
Yeah.
and them getting to know, you know, my
Familiar.
Oh,
Yep.
they realize that okay, this is that guy that just walks around and doesn't do anything to us, right?
That's the guy that
Yeah.
has little Debbie snacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the guy with the oatmeal pies and he's got the cosmic brownies, you know, and
I love oatmeal pies, so you better bring them if I come down. Love
Oh.
them.
and I'm not a threat to him. And I think after about that 45th day, I think is when I finally got to see it. So I think it was just
That's
a matter of like, and I didn't see it like, you know, and I can't go into too much detail, but like I didn't just see it at a glimpse as it was walking. You know, this thing came to me, right? It was
Yep.
it was looking at me, and the fact that I just happened to catch it, just a glimpse of it, and once I caught the glimpse of it, that was it. I had him, you know. So
That's so cool.
yeah.
Well, you ever watch that show on Netflix, like the octopus? When that guy, you ever watch that
When
show?
he made friends with the octopus.
He made friends with the octopus. He'd go out and dive. It was like the spiritual journey was going on for like, you know, and he captured it. I want to say 40 days and 40 nights, but it was like more than that. And then eventually, I won't tell you the end, but
Yeah, don't
you
tell
know.
me.
you want me to tell you the end?
No, don't tell
Okay, I'm not going to tell you. So you got to go on Netflix and look at it.
me. All right.
Because
I'm going
the
to.
octopus was like, would always watch him, but then they became friends.
Mhm.
And so then it would come out and like put it on his hand, and because it was like, who are you in my environment? But you're coming here. Oh, my teacher, the octopus, it's called. Thank you, Thor. You know, it's like repetitive every time, and he's like, he's in my environment. And a couple of times he like tried to, save the octopus from other predators too. So they had like this energy between the two of them. You have to watch it because what this guy did in nature is basically what Brian basically did, being there for 60 days off and off, like you created patterns that made this particular, from your energy, not everyone that may not happen to, but it felt safe enough to say, okay, look, this is what you want. I'm going to give you a quick look. I am real.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to leave.
Yeah. I think
I don't want to be like experimented on, you know?
Yeah. He just came a little closer than he probably was used to. And,
probably normal. Yep.
And I got
so you guys got to watch that now on Netflix. You guys have homework.
All right.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the 13-minute mark and see if I can hear that voice that you both heard.
You need to check that out, dude. Seriously, because I heard it.
That's what I'm going to do. So.
Yeah, I mean, it felt female to me. I mean, it was like a voice. It felt like there was more than one, but it's kind of weird.
What a weird show.
I know, it's been a great show.
Yeah. This is awesome. It takes us a whole circle around the sun for us to come back on, but this was awesome.
Yes.
It's been great. I'm still in awe.
Well, Roxanne, you want to tell the viewers anything? You want to like come visit this or check this out?
Yes. Check out my Facebook, Instagram, Bewitched Situate. I have Bewitched After Dark YouTube channel, and I am doing I'm going to be doing a podcast. I know last year I said I was going to do it, but this witch is busy. But now I have people on me going, do this podcast.
This is your
yes, that's my website.
This is her website.
Yep. And there's me. That's my
there's
door.
Roxanne. She's like, come on in.
Come on in. Come to Bewitched. Come in for a spell.
I dig it. There it is.
Thank you.
Love it.
Yep. I do a lot of different things. Not everything that I do is under my services, because some of the things I do are like crazy, but good crazy. I'm not one of those people that put like every psychic ability that I have on there. I kind of say, if you're meant to come to me, you will, and we'll work it out. But if people can message me, hey, do you do this? Kind of like what I did with the dirt. You need to know what things are going on, what's what. I can help you out the best I can.
Okay.
It's like Lockbeard to give us a rundown of everything that's on. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh, what's Lockbeard?
He was making some shows. Paranormal Portal, 11 o'clock, Weird Wednesday. Well, today's been a weird
radio,
right? So
he kind of runs like a cryptid or paranormal TV guide, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool too. I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's great to, because people don't know like what's out there, and that's awesome. Bring those TV guides back.
Yes.
Well, we got anything? I know we're a little over.
No, I'm just wow. This has probably like been one of the best episodes ever.
Save this forever.
Triangle, triangle that.
I don't even want to get into it. Like,
I want to draw one too, guys.
Draw one too to put one up there.
like that's
one. Draw a triangle. You can barely see it because I got it on notes. So
map.
I got a map. This is
map.
Illuminati type deal or something.
You know what's really cool too is like the vision I got from this too. Obviously, you know where it is because I explained it and you said it was the same area. But if I go out there, it'd be really cool to kind of see if I'm guided somewhere else, in the area.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I always like testing my ability, let's try this, let's try that,
That's what makes you good at it, because you're always putting it to the test. And
I gotta okay, that didn't work, or try this, It's a tool. You constantly got to sharpen that tool. So
that's
I'm just all around weirded out. So
right. Call them up and say, I need to bring this hair to this witch. Right. And that's what most people that, think witches do. Take a lock of their hair and do this and do that. No.
Yeah. We need to get you here somehow. So.
Well, we'll
I'll come down.
Touch on that front.
Let's touch base beyond the show, beyond the Bigfoot show.
All right.
All right. We'll do that.
Well, cool. Okay. We appreciate you coming on.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
So cool.
Stay safe and Bigfoot on.
All right. You too.
We will.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye, Roxanne. All right, man. Wow. It was awesome.
It was very awesome. So.
Wow. Wow. She totally impressed me, man. That was crazy.
blown
I was
away.
like, wow, that's
Like, I did not know what sample bottle was what, and because I forgot to ask you. You know what I
no,
mean?
I didn't tell you guys.
No, you didn't. And I
Mm-mm.
text you. Like, whenever she started talking, I sent you a message. I said, "Hey, what number is what?" And I could tell you didn't look at your phone. I was like, "Man, he's gonna keep me in suspense like this." But then when I was reading your face, and I was just like, "Oh, that's the bottle from the backyard." Like, oh, she's and then when she said by water, I started thinking, "Does he have water in his backyard?" Or like I've been back there, like, is there like a koi pond or something? You know, like I'm
Man,
thinking all these things.
she pinpointed that damn thing perfectly, dude.
Yeah,
Seriously. Like I was like, what?
man.
That's oh
And then
my
when she
God.
started talking about the Squatch Creek soil, you know,
Yeah.
like by the
Yes.
tree, and you got it by the tree. Like, I mean, it was just boom, boom, boom,
Spot
boom,
on, man.
so consistent.
Spot on. I know. I
The
don't even
triangle
wanna
thing still freaks me out, man, because like I've never had that problem where I'm sitting here like so infatuated with a shape. Like
hey,
I could
just be
not
glad it's not me putting stuff in your head to draw. You've been drawing all kinds of weird shit, probably get in
get that.
trouble.
I'd be on some kind of registered list. But but like I was sitting there just, oh, I lost Shane. Oh, well, I guess it's just me now. We'll give him a second to see if he comes back on. So if not, then we'll just we'll call it good and end it there. So but it looks like we may have lost our boy Shane. Yeah, okay. Technical difficulties with Shane, but I'm gonna go ahead and end the show. Just appreciate you guys tuning in and visiting with us and stuff like that. Thanks again to Roxanne for coming on and just totally blowing our minds with all that. So we will go from there and everyone be safe and we'll see you next time.